Calling all Capricorns, we have a new astrology discovery in ancient Egypt. This ancient Egyptian petroglyph or rock carving was recently found in Egypt and was examined by a specialist in ancient Egyptian animal depictions named Dr. Linda Evans, who is from Macquarie University in Australia. She believes that this is the zodiac sign Capricornius, which essentially is the four parts of a goat and the body of a fish. And if this is accurate, this would be the first petroglyph of Capricornius found in ancient Egypt. It also is very rare to find zodiac signs in rock carvings, even though they have been found in other aspects of ancient Egypt, typically though during the Greco-Roman period. What's even more unusual is it was found next to this petroglyph, which has been determined that it is probably a chameleon, which is crazy and wild, but that's not what the article even talks about, so they really barely touch on this, except that they do believe that these two petroglyphs were actually made by the exact same person. Now, the image of a Capricornius is actually much older than I think people realize, with some of these being some of the oldest examples. They actually stem from ancient Mesopotamia, where they were actually depictions of the god Enki or Ea in either Babylonian or Assyrian mythology, where they had the head of a goat and the body of a fish. And some of the oldest depictions we have of this come from around 2112 to 2004 BCE. That was because in Mesopotamian religion, they believed a lot of the gods were actually manifestations of the stars and the constellations. So this is some of the first earliest times where they are actually connecting the images that you see here with actual constellations that sometimes the Egyptians may have even seen too. With the Mesopotamians being very close to the ancient Egyptians, you would think that this practice would kind of jump over there, but it actually went first to Greece and then to Rome, and then was probably brought to Egypt by the Greco-Romans who were settling in this late period of ancient Egypt. The petroglyph was found in El Hosh, which is in the south of Egypt, very close to Aswan, and it is believed that if this is actually depicting a Capricornius, that it is very directly tied to the zodiac sign and thus to the constellations. Because it was kind of found out in the desert, it may have been used as a navigation tool. And with all this information, the scholars have dated this to both around the 1st century BCE to the 2nd century BCE. And I really trust Dr. Linda Evans on this because I have read so many of her articles and books when I was doing research on dogs in ancient Egypt. She is a valuable resource when it comes to how ancient Egyptians depicted animals and even sometimes how they showed actual animal behaviors that we now see in wildlife in the imagery that you see. So this is a really fascinating, interesting thing, and definitely let me know if you want to know more about astrology in ancient Egypt and how they interpreted the stars.